All right,
Okay.
got it.
So last week we actually talked about knowing who is your specific audience. That was the person that's going to be your ideal client, your avatar, or something else along those lines. Now this week we're going to take that to two steps further, and this week we're going to talk about what is known as your the problems that you're going to be solving, as well as the this how you're going to be providing that solution. So let
Okay.
me make a couple of adjustments. And I'm going to be going over some stuff. Hopefully, I'm not going to be going over this too quickly, but I just wanted to make sure that you are taking good notes. Slow me down if you need to. Um, and we'll get started then. So right now, we're going to talk about what is known as, what is the problem that you're going to be solving. And then we're
Mm-hmm.
also going to be solving the second part of this training is going to be how are you going to be solving that problem? I'm going to move things over so I can see better. Okay. So as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, what you are is that you are a problem solver. And the definition of an entrepreneur is how I would word it is that is a person who solves an entrepreneur is a person who solves problems for a profit. You might want to
Okay.
write that down. An entrepreneur is a person who solves problems for a profit.
Mm-hmm.
And this is true regardless of the size of your business. So as an example, let's
Right.
say you run a restaurant. What problem are you solving?
Mm-hmm.
You're
People
solving
are
the problem of
hungry.
somebody being hungry.
Mm-hmm.
If you are if you are going to be selling your house, what you're going to need, you're going to need a realtor because you don't know how to sell your own house. You don't know all the process of selling a house. If you are wanting to
Exactly.
get into better shape, then a gym or yoga studio would be the place that's going to be solving your problem.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a unique way of looking at this issue. Now
Mm-hmm.
let's go ahead and move further down. So regardless of what problem that your ideal client has, or let's call that your specific audience, you're going to be that problem solver.
Okay.
However, as most of you probably already know, who are actually just getting starting out, you may have a lot of things that you are doing at this time. It's like I'm doing all the videos, all these trainings, all these other things. Therefore, you may realize that there are a lot of things you just don't know how to do. And you may also realize there's going to be also things that you just don't know that you don't know.
Yeah.
So the other problem is that you will have things that come to you that they don't know what to do. So let me go and ask you this question. And again, I can pause if you need. So what are some of the things that you're currently working on in your business at this time?
You mean like that I'm working on for other people, or that I'm working on in my business, like for my business development?
That you're working on for your business or even in your business?
So right now, what I'm working on, and I'm gonna get my planner because it really tells me. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
All right. So what I'm doing is I am this month I want to work on business development. So I want to finish my starter and operations manual, right? So that's what I've been
Mhm.
doing. And I also wanted to create a class for each section of each like section, like you're saying, like company foundation, human resources, operations, assisted living manager department, compliance, finance, marketing, sales. So I want to start like a small class for each one, right? But what I was gonna do is I was gonna actually work on my business in the class. So for instance, I really do need a marketing plan for my business. So I was just gonna work on it while I'm in the class, like a whole workshop type of thing. So that's what I'm working on. I'm working on finishing this book and then marketing, doing my social media content calendar.
Okay. And and then let me ask you this: what is the name of your company, and what do you think is probably the first problem that you solve for your clients?
The name of my company is Assisted Living Management Solutions. So the first problem is people have like come to me like either they haven't started and they want to start, or people have come to me if they have gotten their assisted living license, but they haven't gotten any clients in their door. Like they don't know how to operate. So there's the starting and then there's the operating. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Oops.
that's that's my to me that I'm gonna help people start their businesses successfully. So start off with success, and then anybody who needs business development or even business improvement, I'm going to help them increase their profit and retention, their resident retention.
Mhm. Okay, very good. Thank you for sharing that. I need to make an
Awesome.
adjustment here real quick so I can continue on. And so the problem that you initially think that you have or will be solving may actually evolve.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be calling this section. This is what is their yours or your client's specific problem. So we're going to
Okay.
be everything's going to be talking about because we want to be very, very knowledgeable of what the issue that the person has, what the challenge is.
All right.
So as you're starting your business, you will first need to see who out there actually is going to be the same, who actually does the exact same thing that you do.
Right.
Okay, when you're first starting out, this could be these could be your competitors, or they could be what I like to sometimes call them your collaborators.
Mm-hmm.
As an example, I just had a call earlier today with another business coach, which her type of clientele are slightly different than my clientele.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the call, it's like, hey, if somebody comes to me that doesn't fit my category, I'm going to refer them to you, and vice versa.
Right.
Now, I'm going to tell you another story. This is a true story that happened several years ago. And this is where I first started learning about competitors versus collaborators. Back when I lived in Las Vegas from 2004 to 2012, I ran what I called a real estate consultation business.
Okay.
Essentially, what I did was I would find owners of vacant properties and most of them were out of state. They didn't have to be, but most of them were out of state. And what I did was I would go get their houses under contract so I could have an interest in the home, not a sales contract or anything like that, just being under contract. And then I would go shoot video and shoot pictures of those houses, and then put them on my list, and then start marketing those homes for a lease option tenant to move in.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's called a tenant buyer. And
Right.
then and then once they moved in, they would sign contracts. Money would be exchanged. I'll give the money half the money to the owner because that my fee was the other half. And then the owner would sign contracts, and then the people would move in, which
Right.
is that's a pretty unique business model. And I
It
found
is.
another person doing exactly the same thing I was doing. His name was Jim, and this was probably 2009, maybe 2010. Let me think. I think I was skinny then, so it was 2000. It's probably 2011 because I lost 60 pounds in 2010 in 3 months.
Wow. That's awesome.
But
Why?
I just wanted. Well, that's a different story. But the main reason that I did was because I wanted to. I was going to my 25-year high school reunion, and I wanted to look
Okay.
good for my reunion. I was also taking an ex-girlfriend there as well.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good motivation.
That was my motivation. It was a strong
Mm-hmm.
motivation.
Yeah,
So I
that's
was thinking
good.
like,
Okay.
a pre-2010 or after 2010, because that's when I lost all the weight. So it's like, was I the fat guy
Uh-huh.
or the skinny guy? And well, I met up with Jim, and we sat down for a couple of beers, and we were talking like, he's got these lease option properties. He's doing something very similar to me, and I've got mine. Completely direct competitors. And then we had the ideas like, why don't I market your homes? Why don't you market my homes? I will double my inventory. You double your inventory. The owner of the house now has two companies marketing his homes or her homes, and then so that ended up making it a win-win-win situation. And we
Mm-hmm.
worked with each other for probably 6 or 8 years. So a competitor
Wow.
became my collaborator.
That's cool.
And so I always want people to keep that in mind, like, because when I wrote my third book, The Winner's Code, Secrets of the Winner's Mindset, one of the things I talk about in that book is what is your mindset when you see somebody else that may be in the same business as you. In the book, I talk about, let's say you own a hotel, and then you've got a competitor across the street. If your hotel was filled up, would you recommend the hotel across the street, and vice versa? Oops, she fell up. She fell up. As long as you're
Kevin.
there.
Oh, there you are. Okay, my Wi-Fi started acting up.
Yeah,
Can you hear
I
me?
don't think you heard the gym story, but you didn't hear the hotel story. And I get public Wi-Fi can be spotty sometimes.
I know my phone died. No, I didn't hear the other story. I heard Jim, and you worked with him for 6 or 7 years.
Correct. Until he got out of that part of the business of real estate, he got into property management, and so he got out of it completely.
Oh, okay. So how can you tell if somebody is a collaborator versus a competitor?
Find out what, be very clear of what you do and what problems you're solving. Find out what they're doing and what they're solving. And then you can make the decision like, hey, maybe we can work together, or maybe we just say goodbye to everybody and just continue to do business. Because if you
Okay.
look at it from the perspective of scarcity, then that's going to cause you to make business decisions that are, in my opinion, probably not right. But if you come from the idea of abundance, like there's more than enough clients out there. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. So like there's this girl or this lady. So she helps people get licensed, right? But
mhm.
she doesn't necessarily help people operate like after they get licensed. Like, okay, what is your vision? What is your mission? How does that connect to what the employees are doing? Do you have an employee training program? What is your incentive program? What is your policies and procedures development process, just all of that stuff. How are you going to stay compliant with COMAR, quality assurance, quality improvement, just all of that kind of stuff that, again, when you're just getting your assisted living license, you just need some policies. You have to have your house a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? There's certain specific things that you have to have, and it's easy to know versus just it's many ways to run a business. It's many business strategies. What do I do? What do I pick? What's the best one? You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And I've developed so many forms, templates, policies, and procedures. This book that I'm writing is already 140 pages. And I just have put everything in it so far. Like all the different things that I've wrote, like different papers, starter, how to start, blending that with the history, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah. So I don't know if I should get with her or not, but like I said, I've been thinking about it. So that makes sense to what you're saying.
Well, the thing is, just call her up if you've got a Zoom account. Even with a free account, you can have at least a 30 or 45-minute conversation on Zoom, or you can just
Hmm.
be on the phone. Uh, on the phone, or using whatever the iPhone apps are if you want to do a video share. Or in
Right.
some cases, I will call people with the WhatsApp app, and you can turn on the video, a part of it.
Okay. Okay.
So there's a lot of ways that you can do that. And I prefer
Okay.
video conversations because I like to see the
Okay.
people.
Got you. Okay.
Now, okay, so earlier I'm going back to the topics. Earlier I said an entrepreneur is the same thing as a problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
So my question always becomes, what problems do you solve?
Yep.
And earlier I said an entrepreneur is a person who solves problems for a profit.
Yep.
That's a unique way of looking at it. But the thing is, if you're running a business, you're running the business to make a profit. You're not running a
Exactly.
business to make a charity.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. So, and again, a business is a problem solver. So an entrepreneur solves the problems for a profit.
Okay.
Now, by understanding the problem that you solve is how you're going to actually attract the right client. Okay, because you don't want to be like we said last week, you don't want to be chasing after the wrong people by focusing on the people that are not part of your target market.
Right.
Okay, is your daughter okay? Okay,
No,
so when you when
oh,
you
yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
so when you're trying to articulate the problem that they have, this could be something that that would actually keep them up at night, or that they will
Mm,
dwell or worry about all day long.
okay, that's good.
Now,
I can think of the things
with
that kept me up at night.
well, exactly, because those are the more of your bigger problems, or the ones when you're around pacing, or where maybe you're angry or frustrated. Those are going to be where the problems lie. Now,
So,
what this becomes is, because if it's something that they think about all the time, it is also going to be something that is known as a top of mind problem.
okay,
They always have it on the top of their minds.
okay. Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're talking about a top of mind problem, it can be one of two things. Okay, make sure you write this down.
Okay.
That top of mind problem, number one, could be their actual problem.
Okay.
Or number two, which is more likely, it is actually just a symptom of their actual problem.
Right. So actual problem, consequences of actual problem, right? Is
Or
that a symptom
or
what you
this
mean?
or a symptom of their actual problem, because they think this is their problem, but it's actually only a symptom of something much bigger. Okay, so not everybody understands that what problem that they think that they have is actually their actual problem.
Okay.
Now, if it is only a symptom, then that actual problem becomes the specific problem that we talked about, and this is what you're going to be solving.
The actual problem, not the symptom.
Right. If their symptom is a problem that they think they have, and you know what their actual problem is, that becomes that specific problem that you're going to be solving.
The
Okay.
symptom, the symptom becomes the problem and the actual
No.
problem.
The symptom is just one characteristic of the problem.
Got it.
The problem is
Okay.
going to
All
be
right.
something big.
All right. Okay. Got you.
So, so basically, what I say that symptom is actually what I call the unrealized, or excuse me, the new problem is actually the unrealized actual problem. That's the one that they did not realize that they had. Here's an
Wait a minute.
example of where you're writing
Is
that
that
down.
wait a minute, is that the symptom or that's the third one?
That's the specific problem is actually from their perspective. The potential client's perspective is an unrealized actual problem that you're going to be telling them about.
So is this three
No, there's
or
two.
just two? Oh, we're still in two. Okay. So basically, they're gonna tell me what the symptom is, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, if you have a cough, then you might have a cold, right?
Exactly. So as an example, the example I usually use is like say, "Hey doc, I've got this skin rash. This is my problem. I need some cream for my skin rash." And the doctor looks at the rash. He may say, "That's not just a skin rash. This is you have blank, which is a lot more serious."
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So that by understanding it from a doctor's prognosis perspective, they came to the doctor to get this, this skin rash taken care of. Now they could have said the doctor said, yeah, that's poison ivy. Use this ointment and it'll be gone. So it could be that, or it could be an actual something or something far bigger.
Okay.
But when it's far bigger, that's going to be their new specific problem and or the unrealized actual problem that they have from uh, the patient's perspective.
Okay.
So
All right.
here is another example. So just that I use in some of my trainings. Let's say you're a health coach and somebody comes to you. I come to you and I got this headache. I got these constant headaches. And they said, could you give me a cure for this headache? And
Hmm.
after you ask them a series of questions, you may realize your headache's not because of some issue there. The headache is because they are dehydrated.
Yep. Okay. I'm still
So
with you.
that is just another example, of what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
So again, it's going to be like when they come to you with their problem, you're going to be like a doctor giving them a prognosis. Okay,
Got it. Okay.
this is the problem that you're working on, not but this is the bigger problem, and this is what we're going to be solving. We'll solve that problem, but we'll also solve your bigger problem.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. Now, when you're creating your book and your other stuff for your people, what you probably want to sit down and say, okay, this is the actual problem that they have, and start looking at what kind of symptoms that people could have, and that's how you're going to be doing your marketing, because you're going to be
Right.
marketing through people's symptoms.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this is how you can also start to come up with the steps in your process. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now in the chat, I'm going to give the first handout. I think there's
Mm-hmm.
5 handouts. So you might want
Okay.
to go ahead and save this to your computer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, there's the chat. And and there you go. So it is a PDF. I think it's only a one-page PDF. It's called the specific prompt. So this is a worksheet for you to start looking at determining what specific problems that you're going to be solving for your clients.
Okay.
So let me go after you write that down and save it to your computer. I want to ask you a question.
Okay. Go ahead, ask me. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just working. Do you want me to do the worksheet or can I just like do it later and like write it down?
You can do it later and just make sure you save it to your computer.
Okay. All right. I got it.
And so let me ask you this question. What are some of the problems that your current clients have and the steps that they may need to go through in solving those problems?
I like lost you. Wait a minute. So I'm gonna think about stuff that I had. And what I did was, so I'm in like all these groups and stuff, right? And what I did was I did like some research and I like went through these Facebook groups and I went through to say like what are people's problems? Like what are they asking about? What are they like even
Mhm.
talking about in there, right? So wait a minute, let me show you my notes. 'Cause I've been working on this stuff for a long time, so I have a lot of stuff. All right, so some of the stuff that they had problems with was um getting more residents, right?
Okay.
Like, people don't have residents or like retention or recruitment. You know what I mean? So that's one. Billing structure, like how to bill people in like an accounting system. You know what I mean?
Okay.
People were talking about that kind of stuff. People were talking about meal planning and food shopping for the
Okay.
residents. And then people were talking about how to develop policies and procedures, right?
Okay.
And then people were also talking about staffing, like how to staff,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Staffing people. So I had come up with all these like little marketing things, like kind of about like what could I say based on that information? You know what I mean? Okay.
Okay.
So there was like different things like I said, like, what's my point? You know, teach people to take care of their families by taking care of other families. Um, you know, process improvement to remain proactive and reactive when you need to be. You know, stuff like that.
Okay.
So basically that's the problem. But of course, I'm solving so much more. But that's why I want to come up with these different classes because if I come up with these classes that are specific to those problems, then people will come into the class and then I can introduce all the stuff. And then they'll, you know what I mean? That's kind of my concept. But I have to develop the classes first. And I have
Okay.
some, but I don't have all of them. What I probably need to do is just like do one and then just see how it goes and just not wait on stuff. Because I'm a perfectionist too. That's my problem.
Well, that is one thing that I would suggest you do instead of spending a lot of time building a lot of different classes, is to go and build one test, see what works, what doesn't work, and then you can make adjustments to the first one, and then the second one you can use your knowledge from that first class in drafting it.
So basically just do a class and market it. Like how you're doing classes, just do it.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's good.
Okay, so now we're going to be moving into the second part of this training for today. And this is what
Okay.
I'm calling the specific solution. I know I use the word specific a lot, but that's just what I do. So I'm talking about your specific solution. And this is going to
Okay.
be the solutions that you're going to be providing for them. Now, what I'm
Okay.
about to share with you is going to be a little bit intensive. So I'm just going to let you know. So I will go slowly. Because so essentially this specific solution is broken down into three different types of
Okay.
solutions. There's
Okay.
going to be three different types. So the specific solution that you're going to be providing actually is going to solve the problems and other underlying problems for your clients. Like you just said, I want to have somebody run an effective a facility or an effective business. They need to know. They need to understand staffing. They need to know nursing. They need to know meal prep. They need to. So those are all just different parts of the biggest problem, which is how do they run a successful business.
So is that like what I'm writing down?
That's what you're writing down right now.
Okay.
And
All
well,
right.
that's what you're considering. That's what you're thinking about.
Okay. All
Now,
right.
the solutions that you're going to be providing is going to be essentially a series of steps that you will take your clients through from step A through
Got it.
step B to step C. So you're going to have a step-by-step process.
Right. And that's what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm on the right track.
Yes, you're on the right track. And now,
Okay.
many new people in business actually tend to just wing this. They just say, "Let me try this. Let me try this," but they don't have any structure in place. Winging it will only get you so far.
Can I show you my structure real quick? Am I allowed to?
Oh,
All
sure, sure.
right. Let me get myself together. Let me pull it up. All right. Here we go. Uh, I always have a problem getting back. All right. Oh, you disabled me. I don't know if I could show you. How do I show you?
I'll have to make you host.
I don't know if you want to. I mean, that's just- okay. Do I have to get
Okay.
out and get back in?
No, I just made
Oh,
you
here I
host.
am. I got it. All right. So it's here. So can you see this stuff?
Yes, I can. I'm on a monitor to my right, but yes.
So basically, like if you look over here to like my like table of contents, right? Can you see it?
Oh,
It's
yes, on the
like,
left. Yes.
yeah, so I did like an intro. Then I'm doing the different definition of assisted living, the history, why seniors and their families choose assisted living, why owning an assisted living is a great choice. Then it gets into starting your assisted living business. Plan your
Okay.
business, choose a viable business. Are y'all ready for this? Make sure your family is behind you. Market research, decide on the business. I mean, it's like so many things, right? Then it goes into manage your business, which is the operations manual. And that is, you know, top 5 business profitability factors, operations, managing your finances, hiring, paying taxes, family, all that. That's all in the starter manual, though. Then it goes into like managing versus operating, because to me, it's two different things. So it
Hmm.
goes into that, right? Then it goes into the operations manual, which is starting versus operating, then business foundation, operations, assisted living manager, resident care and retention, all of these things. You know what I mean? Then I was thinking about creating like a little workbook for people to do their business plan, assisted living business plan, and then giving them like samples and stuff. So this is what it is. This is what I'm working on.
Yeah, fantastic. Looks good. I did not realize in Google Docs that you can do things like that. What doing all the subchapters.
Oh, okay. Let me show you how to do that real quick. So if you like highlight your stuff and you go here to like this whole situation, that's how if you turn it into a heading, then it puts this little
Okay.
table of contents over to the side. So
Okay.
that's what does it. It helps me organize my stuff, and I could just go right to it instead of like looking through all the pages. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, so yeah, so that's what I got going on, Kevin.
Okay. Looks like you put a lot of work into it so far.
I have, and I needed to like just get it out so I can make some money off of it because I've been working on it for a long time. So, and my thing is not done. So maybe I just need to, I'm like, maybe I just need to market the classes instead of trying to do pre-orders for the operations manual because it's not like it's going to take me a long time, maybe. You know what I mean? It's 190 pages, and I haven't even put like any of the stuff in the appendix, like the forms and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, it's really going to be like useful for people.
Yeah, probably gonna be more pages than that because I think you're in 8.5 by 11 format, and most books that you probably want to sell are in 6 by 9. So it's going to dramatically increase the number of pages.
You think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Everything.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. So,
My
I
fourth
mean,
book is this one here. It's called Launch, an A to Z in creating a
yeah,
successful business. You can see it's a
yeah,
thick book. If you can look down here, there's 400 plus pages. So
exactly. Because it
so
could be
yeah.
like it starts to get like a manual. You know what I mean? Like a real instructional guide.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Cool.
yeah, go ahead and finish your book. Have somebody proofread it for you, or
Hmm.
content edit it. Get some testimonials from the different chapters, so you can use that
Okay.
on the back cover, and even before your forward.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
well, I've written 4 books, so I have a little experience.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason. I just happened to meet you, you know?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that's the whole reason I'm here is to assist people.
Thank you. All right, finish book. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to take the control back.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. So when you're solving people's problems, one of the things you are going to realize is that many people's problems are going to be very similar to each other.
Hmm.
So I mean, some nuances will be different because everybody's business is slightly different. But if you're working with everybody, somebody in the same industry, and you're working with 3 other people in the same industry, most of them are going to have very similar problems.
Right. Okay.
So therefore, when you're creating your program or your book there, or how or your courses, uh, keep that in mind as far as that's go. And when you do your first one, then you find out, what did you miss? And then you can always make adjustments and improvements. Now, the first time that you're going to be doing something is probably not going to be very effective. In all honesty, because you're still learning how to teach it. But the thing
All
is,
right.
don't give up on that. And the thing is to now start utilizing that to make it better the second time around, make it better for the third time around. I mean, the first time
Hmm.
you drove a car, I'm sure it was a pretty disastrous event because you stop
Yeah, it
and
was
brake,
rough.
stop, especially if it was a
Yep.
stick shift. So the thing is, don't be hard on yourself when you're launching this. Is all I'm saying.
Okay. Okay.
So when you solve your problems, you actually want to create. And I already talked about this, a series of steps that you want to be taking your people through.
Right.
So when you take on a new client, they may be now. If you're taking one client, another client on all at the same time, some of them may be further along than where the other ones are. They
Exactly.
be coming in at different levels. If you're doing
Exactly.
group coaching, which is one of the things I strongly suggest, is to let them know that, hey, I know, Bob, that you are a step, probably 1 or 2 steps ahead, but we're just going to start off
Hmm.
everybody at the same place and move forward. It's like taking a class in college. Like, say, for example, you're taking a math class, and maybe one person that came in the room already knows how to get a common denominator. We're adding fractions. Well, another person
Right.
like, I need to learn how to do that. So the thing is, you're getting everybody onto the same page is what you're doing.
Okay.
Now, so in many cases, in many cases, you may also still have to have them. You want to have them, what I'm calling, have them go through step A again, and which is perfectly fine. So, as an example, let's talk about if you are a health coach, because I want to be very visual. Let's say your
Okay.
specific audience is a 40 to 50-year-old men who are overweight. You're dealing with men
Okay.
only. Just for a
Okay.
visual. You have a program that's called Get Fit for Middle-Aged Men. Okay.
Right.
Now, the steps that you may be taking them through is in step number one, knowing what your weight and measurements are. If you're going to get a go out, you need to know your starting point. So,
Okay.
getting on a scale and measuring your body mass.
Like a
Step number two
baseline.
could be, which is the baseline, correct. Step
Okay.
number two could be what is in their fridge and pantry.
Right.
Number three is what exercise programs are you going to put them through?
Mm-hmm.
For example, let's say if somebody has a bum leg, you're not going to have to ask them to go run 5 miles. You'll have to come up, you'll find something else.
Right.
It was another thing is what is their nutrition plan, and then
Okay.
also accountability. So these are all
Mm-hmm.
steps that you're going to be taking somebody through. And
Okay.
in your case, you could have more than those 5 steps, or you could have less. You could have 20. You could have 3, and you have your process. You take something through. Now, with what you're doing right now is that if you're doing these courses as these different segments separately, each of those are going to be have a series of steps for somebody to go through.
Right. Like an outline.
Okay,
Right.
so
Okay.
again, I said in the specific solution, there's 3 different types that you can have. You can have one of you could actually use one of them, you could use 2 of them, or you could use all 3 of them, depending on how you want to set up your business. And to me, this
Okay.
is pretty critical because most people don't think of things the way that I do. So the first one that we're going to talk about is what I call this solution series.
Okay.
Let me write that down.
Yeah.
So if most coaches and trainers actually do this specific one. This now nobody else calls it solution series. I call it that. So you probably you won't Google it and you will and see it somewhere. But
Okay.
so what happens is your client is coming to you to solve their specific problem. Either it's something that they realize or unrealized. You're solving that specific problem, and that is
Okay.
exactly what you're going to be doing. Now, one of the things I often talk about in some of my trainings is something known as perspective. How you look at something could be very different than how your husband looks at something. How I
Right.
look at something, my twin brother, I don't have one, but if I had a twin brother, he can have a very different perspective because all of our perspectives are based upon all of our life experiences of how we
Right.
grew up. And what influences that we have from mom, dad, school, church,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
political affiliation, TV that you watch. I mean, we're all influenced by everything that we see and do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is something I'm going to be tell you that it's a different way of looking at things when you're solving people's problems, and it's going to be this: whenever you solve a small problem, at any step along the way in your process, when you solve a small problem, quite frequently it's going to create another. When you solve that problem, you're going to create another problem.
Okay. Is this with the series?
Yeah, this is the solution series.
Okay.
This is what's
Okay.
involved in it. So what that
No.
means is solve problem one. You have problem one, and that leads into solution number one. P1 leads into S1. But S1 creates another problem. We call that problem two. And
So you
your
know what that?
job is to
Sorry. Go ahead.
and that problem number two, you're going to solve that problem as well. That's going
Okay.
to create problem three. Then you're going to create a solution for that problem so that you can solve that one as well. But that may now create problem number four. So it's a series of
Right.
steps of problems that you're going to be solving along the way. Okay, so let me give you a visualization on that. I like using this visual. For in the solution series, you're basically solving a series of problems, or you're providing a series of solutions. This is why I call it the
Right.
solution series. So
Mm-hmm.
does that make sense? Okay.
Yep.
So let's say that again, you were that health coach and you had that program for Get Fit for Middle-Aged Men program.
Right.
They're middle-aged men, they're in the 40s or 50s, maybe they're 40 pounds overweight, maybe they're 50 pounds overweight, and you're the thing is that you want to help them. So their
Mm-hmm.
first problem could be that they're overweight, they have a bad diet, they eat bad food, and they don't know how to properly exercise.
Right.
So solution number one would be, hey, let's get rid of all of that bad food. Go to your pantry, go to your refrigerator, throw all that food away.
Right. Okay.
So that so these that's going to be solution number one. Now the problem that they now have is, what are they going to buy at the grocery store? They don't know what to buy. So
Right.
your solution is
Okay.
going to be buying the right food.
Right.
But now
Okay.
that they got the right food, they don't know how to cook that right food. So your
Mm-hmm.
solution number three is going to be how to prepare a healthy meal.
Got it.
Does this
Okay.
make sense? How one
Yeah,
problem leads
step
into
by step.
another,
Yep. Yep.
step by
It's
step.
like trying to implement what you learned, basically.
Right. Now, a lot of times those problems that are going to be from the client's perspective, a lot of times those problems that are going to be developed, they were unaware that that's going to be a problem that they're going to have. You were aware because you created the program, but they may
Exactly.
be completely unaware.
Right.
Then use that same example. After they know how to prepare the right foods, they don't know how to exercise properly. So
Mm-hmm.
you show them a series of things that they can do for their exercise. And
Mm-hmm.
then now that they're exercising, guess what the next problem is going to be? And this is at the very beginning. They're going to have sore muscles. Okay, so let's talk about how to solve this problem. So all of these
Mm-hmm.
problems, all these solutions, as you can see, causes another problem. Let's
Right.
do
Or like, where do you get the equipment from? Stuff like that.
all the equipment from, and then
Mm-hmm.
staying motivated, making sure they finish the
Gotcha.
9 month or the 3 month routine, and they're
Gotcha.
so they're
Makes
making
sense.
progress along the way. Here's another example. Let's say you're a relationship coach and you work with single women to help them find the love of their life and get married. So
Mm-hmm.
now they're engaged. Guess what problem they're going to have? How do I live with somebody else? I've never lived with
Mm-hmm.
somebody.
Yeah, look, how do I stay married?
Yeah, how do I stay married? So
Yeah.
as you can see, whatever problem that you're going to be solving, say in your business here, what are the solution series that you're going to be taking somebody through?
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so I'm going to put in the chat the solution series
Worksheet.
um, worksheet.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, okay, open up the chat. Okay, so that's is now in the chat, and you can probably download these at the very end as well, so you don't have to put down your daughter to get these. So next we're going to go into so do you see how you can start implementing this into your business at this moment?
Yeah, I kind of think I already have because, like I told you, I was doing this consulting thing with this lady, and it's just like, all right, after you do your mission and vision, like you got to go to the next thing. Like, what is your product? What are you offering? And you got to go to your next thing. How are you gonna let people know? Like, on and on. So she like basically kept booking classes with me because she didn't know the next thing. You know what I mean? Like so that makes sense. It's all yeah, that
Mhm.
really makes sense what you're saying. Yeah,
But again,
yeah.
it's just a different way of looking at this. This is why I say most
Hmm.
coaches and trainers do exactly this. The next two are going to
Hmm.
be a little bit more involved.
Okay.
And if you can capitalize on these next two, then I think you will have a very, very good business.
Okay.
So the second solution method I call a sales funnel.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. Wow. Okay. Yep.
Now there are many different types of sales funnels. Some people have sales funnels as, hey, buy this one product and then buy this next product, and buy this next product, and buy this next product. That's one type of sales funnel. And as you can see, it's a funnel shape, it's like an upside down pyramid.
Uh-huh.
Because the deeper that they go, the fewer the people that are going to be going down there, but the more expensive things are going to be. So that's your
Right.
typical sales funnel. Now, the
Okay.
levels in your sales funnel are known as tiers.
Yep.
Okay. So the level one is going to be something that could be something that you give away for free, like a lead magnet. A level two
Yep.
is going to be a little bit more expensive, and so on. So let's talk about your program. And this is
Okay.
a sales funnel based upon your one program. So
Uh-huh.
basically, what I'm doing is I'm getting the solution series and I'm making it into a sales funnel now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So for an example, let's say you have your program And now you can say, you know what? I want to capitalize on this. I want to write a book. I want to turn this whole
Right.
program into a book, an actual physical book or ebook, doesn't really matter, that they can buy online. So for an example, let's say that book is $24.95.
Right. Okay.
So also let's say you create a membership YouTube channel.
Okay.
Maybe with that you're charging $97 or maybe a monthly fee of $97. No, the dollar amount is up to you.
Okay.
Then you say, you know what? I want to repurpose this and I'm going to create an online program.
Got it.
And
Okay.
kind of like I have the online program creator. You create an online program which has different sections and lessons in what you're doing. Maybe your
Okay.
online program costs $500 or maybe it's like $1,500, but it's the exact same content.
Okay. Got you.
Now let's say you're
Okay.
going to have a one-day event, a one-day
Mm-hmm.
weekend event. Maybe you can charge $9.95 for that. And then you decide, you know what, let me make this a 3-day event. And I'm going to charge $19.95.
Wow. Okay. I got you.
Now maybe you take on affiliates, and when somebody comes to work with your business, they're working with your affiliates, not you, working with your affiliates. They're trained and certified by you for $39.95. And then another one could be, what if they want to work personally one-on-one with you? Maybe you can charge,
Yeah.
let's say, $79.95. But it's all the same content.
Yeah. It's like and one on right now, like one on one, I had the lady, she's paying me 240 for 2 hours. It isn't horrible. But I mean, that's really the only product I have to offer at this moment because I didn't come up
Right.
with any of this stuff yet because I felt stuck. You know what I mean? So, okay, that makes sense.
So this is why it's a sales funnel. So what it is and how I define a sales funnel in this perspective is, what is their level of intimacy with you? What is their
Right.
level of contact with you? Intimacy means level of contact. So they just want to read
Okay.
a book. It's really cheap. If they want to be part of a YouTube channel, maybe it's you training, maybe it's one of your certified affiliates. If you want
Okay.
to create an online program, now they can probably hear and see you, but it's pre-recorded. If you go to a one-day
Got
event,
you.
you're up there on stage. If you go to a 3-day event, you're up there on stage for 3 days. Coaching with your affiliates, now they're not talking to you. They're going through the certification program that you had with your employees to the teaching the material. And if they wanted to work with you personally, it's going to be the most expensive. For
Got
an
it.
example, let's say you heard about this guy named Tony Robbins.
Mm-hmm.
You know who Tony Robbins is?
Yeah, I think it sounds familiar. Maybe not.
He's that
Remind me. Is it
that
Tim
giant
Robbins?
Anthony Robbins or Tony Robbins?
No, I
What
don't
about
know
Robert
him. I think it's
Kiyosaki? What about Robert
no.
Kiyosaki?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so say somebody that's really really popular in personal growth or whatever the stage is. I mean they're like an untouchable. They're a multi-millionaire.
Yeah. Okay.
So they write a brand new book. That's one level of income. They're doing the same
Mm-hmm.
thing. Maybe they have an online program, or buy my CDs or DVD
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
program. Or then one day maybe they're having that one-day event, and that one-day event there's 2,000 people at the event. Do you see
Mm-hmm.
now the
Okay.
person up there that has 2,000? There's a multi-million with 2,000 people in the audience. He's not going to be available for 1995.
Exactly. I got you.
So this is
Exactly.
the way that you think would think about it.
Yeah. Okay. It makes it a lot
Okay.
easier to break down. Yeah.
Right. Now, just to break down the tiers, as you know, at the very top tier level, number one, that's going to be again, that's going to be the low cost. This is known as
Mm-hmm.
this is the low or this is the free or low cost tier. Now, this could be anything, say under $20 or $50 at max would be tier
Mm-hmm.
one. If you
Okay.
doing a lead magnet for free, then that would be your tier one, and then you may have a second, kind of like a tier one, but it's a little bit more expensive. Now,
Oh,
tier two means basically a low financial commitment. So that's going to be a book, a CD, DVD, some kind of downloadable. Now you may charge, like say, between $50 and $100 for tier two, and
Mm-hmm.
we're assuming you have a 5 tier thing. You can have more. A
Okay.
tier three would be like a middle financial commitment, say $100 to 5,000. This could be like a 1 day event, and maybe you allow them to have a photo op with you. Can come take a photo with me as well or
Mhm.
all the VIPs do. However you
Yeah.
want to set it up.
Yeah.
A tier
Okay.
four would be your middle to high financial commitment. You're talking a few $1,000s here, like $3,000, maybe even, up to maybe even $10,000. And then a
Mm-hmm.
tier five or and higher would be your high financial commitments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as an example, let's say that you find this mastermind group, and the mastermind group is to join the mastermind is $100,000. Now, assuming you had the money, would you think there's going to be very only high level people in that group? Do you think the people that are kicking the tires and want something for free, do you think they're going to be part of that group?
No.
Probably not. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put the sales funnel worksheet into the chat.
All right.
And then the next one is going to blow your mind a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
The third solution technique, most people never even think about this. And I call this your spiral model. That's spiral as SPIRAL. So it goes in a circle. Is your
All
spiral
right.
model.
Okay.
And what this is, it's like the solution series, but on steroids. Okay.
Okay.
Because what's gonna happen in the spiral model is that when somebody finishes your program and they've gotten the results or close to the results that they wanted, they're now done with the program. Right? That was the solution series. But
Right.
now there's another problem that they now have. And now you
Mm-hmm.
could be the one, that solves that second big problem in another solution series, or you could have what's called an affiliate relationship with somebody else, a collaboration with somebody else.
Okay.
Okay. So let's give you an example of the spiral revenue model.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, what it is I'll go through the example that I've already given to you.
Okay.
You're a health coach and you have your program called Get Fit for Middle-Aged Men.
Okay.
Your ideal client is somebody, let's say, in the low to mid 200s, and they want to get down to, let's say, 190 or 180. So they want to lose
Okay.
a significant amount of weight. That's their Get Fit. So you took them through all the eating, you took them through all the exercise programs, how to maintain their exercise programs, possibly accountability partners and things along those lines. But
Mm-hmm.
now, when they're finished with the program, they say they went from, and this happened to me, I went from 240 to 190. That's and back in 2010. That's when I was talking about my fat me and the skinny me, where I
Yeah.
lost 60 pounds. Well, I went to 180. I lost 60 pounds in 3 months. What problem do you think I have now? Maintaining
I
the
guess
weight?
you. Yeah. Probably maintaining the weight loss, right?
That would be one of them. What is another major problem I have at that moment in time? None of my
Um.
clothes will fit. I'm from a double XL to a medium.
Oh yes, true that. Okay.
So that's my new
Exactly.
problem. So now for
Right.
you, you're looking at now that they've got their business running, what is the next issue that they're going to have? Or let's say saving money for taxes. Let's say come up with whatever else that you may want to come up with.
Okay.
Is going to, so for me, or in this case, when that second problem is now realized, you can do like, well, I've got this other program that you can actually go into where we have you learn how to learn your colors, how to, buying the right suits and, buying the right, whatever, as far as the clothing program.
Right.
So so in that case, you may have another program that could be called a dress for success.
Right.
Okay, so
Exactly. Got you.
let's go out there and just solve this clothing issue. Because when I went
Got
from
you.
a double XL to a medium, I kept I deliberately got rid of all of my fat clothes because I didn't want to give myself permission to get back up there again.
Right. I got you. Okay.
So that could be or let's say, well, I don't work with fashion. Maybe then you can have an affiliate relationship with somebody else, a fashion coach, and maybe you have a referral fee of say like 25%. So you're still making
Exactly.
money
Got you.
off of
Got
that.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, the spiral revenue model is beautiful. Now, let's say
Yeah.
for an example, you get them, you help in this particular example, you help them with getting their fashion sense together. What could be another problem that they have? Could be their self-confidence, could be their attitude. So now that
Hmm.
they look the part, they dress the part, but then do they have the mental capacity to be the part? That's going to be the next
Right. They
problem
need
that's going to come.
motivation. Right.
Need
Got it.
motivation.
Okay. Okay.
So when you're looking at the spiral revenue model, look at it from the perspective like, what are the major problems that I could be solving or at least referring? Now,
Got it.
another thing is you do not want to combine all of these into one program.
Got it. Yeah, of course.
No one mega program. Because if I come to you and I've already lost the weight, I'm just want you for a fashion coach. I don't need to go through your Get Fit program. I'm already
Exactly.
past that.
Right.
Or let's
Exactly.
say somebody's come through for the Dress for Success program. Maybe they are overweight and they need to take the Get Fit program.
Hmm.
So, so by offering it as three
Well,
different programs is a great way for you to be able to market yourself.
right. And get people in the different levels.
Get people at different levels, and then see if they would be interested in doing any of the other two levels. So I'm going
Got
to
it.
put the that as well as the specific solution worksheets in the tab. So the specific solution worksheet is just explaining these three different programs, and essentially that's most of what I had for this course for this training today.
That's
Now,
cool.
um, another thing I do want to make sure that you are aware of if you're creating multiple programs. The thing is, it is okay to repeat yourself. A lot of people say, "No, I said that in the Get Fit program. I don't want to say it in the Get Dress for Success program because I've already said it." The thing is, it is okay to repeat yourself. It's okay to repeat yourself multiple times. If you ever
Okay.
read a book of a series, of the of nonfiction books, let's say like Robert Kiyosaki, which is the Rich Dad Poor Dad guy, he's written like
Oh,
25 different books.
right.
Do you think out of his 25 books, do you think everything, all the content, all 25 books is completely new? Or is it say,
No.
or does he repeat himself?
Yeah, of course, because it all relates to each other.
Exactly. Now, each book
Yeah.
will have some new content that is unique to its own. But the thing is that if you're putting together your program like you are right now, and you put together a second program, it is okay to repeat yourself. And there's two reasons that it's okay. Number one, if somebody were just taking that one course, they need that critical information
Right.
that was already mentioned. And the reason number two is if you're hearing it a second time, does that mean that it's important?
Yeah, it reinforces for you.
Reinforces the information. So
Okay.
when you're creating your program, be okay with repeating yourself.
Okay.
So that's probably one of the biggest issues that I've had, and I've seen other people have is that one particular factor. He's like, well, I've
Hmm.
already said that. Like, that's okay. You already said that.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Now, that's all that I have. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. So everybody that's on the hearing the recording, thank you for showing us today, and I will see you guys in the next training. And let me where's the stop.